This is the Paranormal Report. Welcome to the Paranormal Report. I'm Jim.
I'm Dar. Crazy Dar.
Crazy Dar.
Wednesday.
Crazy Dar. Yeah.
Crazy hump day.
Yeah,
Happy belated
exactly.
Punchki Day.
Yes, I ate all the punchkis. Who stole the punchki?
You ate quite a bit of punchki.
So
I used to call you my little punchki, remember?
Yeah. I'm not little anymore. But anyway, the point being, maybe you're wondering what the hell is a punchki? It is
Go to Virtual Campfire.
Yes, virtualcampfiregroup.com. There are even pictures. Oh my.
There are.
And it's basically kind of a Polish, almost a donut, but it's slightly different than a donut, but it is delicious.
It's definitely like a Midwestern thing.
Yeah, Cleveland, Chicago,
Cleveland,
yeah.
Buffalo, Detroit kind of thing.
But it's something that we have a treat of every year on Fat Tuesday. It's a big thing here in the Cleveland area, and I got some of them, and I consume them with great dispatch. Go ahead, tell people what the punchki is. Tell them about the tale of the punchki.
Well, yeah, it's like you said, it's a Polish tradition, Polish Catholic, and the reason why they existed was because today is Ash Wednesday if you're Catholic. Which means the start of Lent, which means you are supposed to like fast on Fridays and you give something up, or now the latest is to do something good, which I kind of like that as opposed to always giving something up. But in that realm, you would use up all of your fattening ingredients before Lent. So they would use up the sugar and the eggs and the butter. And so these are very dense donuts. They're not very airy like,
so good though. Oh my. They're so
traditionally
good.
Filled with like a prune filling, but there's all kinds of fruit fillings. We like the creams. We like the Bavarian like
cream.
the Boston cream. Yes. And in the Cleveland area, there's like I know two bakeries for sure. There's a lot of bakeries that go all out. But Rudy's and Parma's like number one, and Kidrowski's and Amherst. We went there the one time. Yeah, when you went, I think when you were waiting in line, they had polka music playing, and it's like a big celebratory event. Well,
I didn't know
because you do wait
year.
in line for quite some time.
They make it such a cool thing. They really do.
They do.
Kidrowski's does such a nice job, and they're having fun, and they have a line, and they even had like last time I went, not this year, but they had heaters so people would stay warm. They have polka music. You got to have polka music. It's Cleveland. It's Polish. It's awesome. So, highly recommend them. I haven't been to that one in Parma, Rudy's. We'll have to check that out maybe.
Well, yeah, we have to get there, but you need extra time.
They're both great. Yeah,
you wait in line quite a while.
Yeah, but it's worth it. Believe me,
it is worth it. They are
I'm just noticing on the camera, I cut myself shaving this morning. I'm still learning. I just recently reached puberty. So.
That's because you've got this razor. Let me tell you how sharp Jim's razor is. I moved it slightly so I could clean the top of the bathroom counter, and it sliced my finger open, and I was profusely bleeding.
Here's the mistake I made. I thought I could get one more shave out of it, and it was kind of dull, but I ordered literally like the sharpest double-edged razor blades, like the old school razor blades, and
Yikes.
I have like it's really funny. Not that anybody cares about my shaving habits, but I kind of got by for decades with disposable razors or electric. And a couple of years ago, I discovered the joys of old school shaving with like a safety razor, like the one that your grandfather had. And it's great. It does a much better job, much nicer shave. Everything's great, except don't use dull razor blades, Jim. So next time, take the extra 30 seconds.
I don't know if it was dull when I moved it. That time I moved it, I was like, oh my gosh, I barely touched it.
Ironically, if you want to cut yourself, use a dull razor blade, which seems counterintuitive, but that's the way it is.
There you have it.
Well, something else seems counterintuitive, Dar. A former president of the United States admitting there are aliens. Well, that's just what happened this week. President Obama was on a podcast. I don't even know the name of the podcast. I apologize. The last name of the host is Cohen. And they had a speed round. You can find it online everywhere. I'd never heard of this host, by the way, but whatever. Anyway, they had a speed round, and the host said, "Are aliens real?" And Obama's response was immediate and unequivocal. This is from Newsweek. "They're real, but I haven't seen them. Not being kept in. What is it?" That sounds more like David Brinkley. Area 51,
that
Cohen
wasn't good.
interjected. Area 51, there's no underground facility unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the President of the United States.
Sound like Ross Perot.
Now listen here. You hear that gigantic sucking sound? That's Jim trying to do an Obama impersonation. Anyway, so again, President Obama, in a recorded interview, it was not AI, and he said there is aliens. Now I told you at the time, I said, you watch. I literally said this.
Yes.
He's going to come out with a statement in the next couple of days, walking this back and clarifying it, talking about, there's aliens somewhere. That's almost a direct quote of what I said.
Yes, it was. And sure enough, not even a day later.
Yeah.
Because this got a lot of traction in mainstream news.
Yeah. I was trying to stick with the spirit of the speed round, President Obama said. This was on Instagram.
This is quote.
Yeah. But since it's gotten attention, let me clarify. Statistically, the universe is so vast that the odds are good there's life out there. But the distances between solar systems are so great that the chances we've been visited by aliens is low. By the way, he didn't say non-existent, did he?
No, he said low.
Excuse me. I saw no evidence during my presidency that extraterrestrials have made contact with us. Really?
During my presidency doesn't mean he didn't hear something after.
Well, it depends on before. What the meaning of the word is.
That's right.
That's the wrong president.
Right.
But the point being
interesting
that it's like, did somebody say, President Obama, you might want to rethink that statement. You might want to give a little context. That's our favorite word. Give context. So, I mean, the thing is that, come on, guys. This is real. There's something. I don't know what it is. I don't know from out there, if they're from back there, if they're from another dimension, if they're demons, if they're, I don't know what they are, but there's something. And you just had a U.S. president in a moment of weakness or just kind of like blurting out what he really thought.
Of the round.
Yeah. And he thought,
which means when you're when you're doing a fast. I also
wonder, these people are very intelligent, these politicians and so forth. And rarely is anything said unintentionally. Let me throw this out here, get my tinfoil hat on. What if he put it out? He knew the reaction it would get. He planned the kind of walk back statement, but kind of like desensitizing the populace for some kind of announcement. Like, oh, President Obama already said that. When President Trump comes out, it might be a little less shocking. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but that is one kind of tinfoily kind of idea out there, just kind of getting it out.
It's a good theory.
We've got more stories about American politicians at high levels talking about UFOs, not theoretically, but that they actually exist. Interesting, we're getting these drips. Tell us about the latest one.
Oh, yeah. This one came out just this morning. Missouri Congressman Eric Burleson says he has heard reports of a crashed alien craft somewhere outside the United States that is so large it cannot be moved. And because of that, they had to, quote, build an entire building around it.
That actually reminds me of the George Carlin thing, where he was going to Catholic school and he asked the priest, if God is all powerful, can he himself make a rock so big he cannot move it?
You always love that quote. You bring that up constantly. Oh my gosh.
Anyway, go ahead.
Right. Anyway, so he's heard reports of this crashed alien craft somewhere. He won't mention the country, he said, because he heard of it inside of a closed meeting, a closed setting, and he wants to protect his classification level.
Ooh, I know what the country is.
Don't say it.
And I'm not going to say it.
Protect your level.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to knock at the door, but it's out. It's floating around out there.
Yeah. So he said, though, he was speaking to Rob Finnerty from the channel Newsmax, and Burleson was very frustrated. He said he's been unable to investigate the craft personally. And he said, quote, "I'm having a difficult time getting access to facilities that are just within a few miles from my office in Washington, D.C. So to try to attempt to go to another country and get permission at that level is going to be somewhat insurmountable. But it doesn't mean that I'm not going to continue to try."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he said, this is it. He added that if he ever got his hands on a piece of undeniable evidence about the existence of alien visitors, he would not hesitate in making it public. So, quote, "If I come under any hard evidence, whether it's physical or video evidence that is absolutely definitive, while I'm going to do what I can to protect our national security and our nation's interests, I will not hold back on telling the American people that we are not alone, or we are alone or not alone in this universe."
Wow.
That is something the government has no right to withhold from its people.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
And I guess he was in this interview with Dr. Stephen Greer, too.
Yeah, I've interviewed Dr. Greer many years ago. Very difficult guy to get a hold of. But
so Greer kind of let out what country he thinks it is, or what he said it was outside Seoul, South Korea.
Wait, you just said it. Now they can knock on the door and talk to you.
No, they couldn't do that. I'm quoting Dr. Greer. Quote, "Specifically knew of one alien craft in the mountains outside Seoul, South Korea. It was so huge they had to build a structure around it."
Okay.
And he's not, because he's a private citizen, he said he's not bound by the same conditions of secrecy as Representative Burleson.
Interesting.
Oh, he's been talking about a lot. He said there's another one in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, that there was a structure built around that too.
For the longest time, I didn't think anything was going to happen. I didn't think there was going to be any disclosure. I didn't anything. I'm like, you're kidding yourselves. They're never going to admit to anything. But it seems like things are shifting. We're getting a lot of like little, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Breadcrumbs. That's where I'm looking for.
That's a good word.
Yeah. And so to me, I don't know. I'm a little more hopeful that we're going to get something. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that later in the show. But first, we have to talk about something I wish that we didn't have to talk about.
Really sad news. Oh.
Nick Pope, the great UFO researcher, he's been a guest on the shows. I was lucky enough to spend some time with Nick when we did one of those cruises with Holiday Maker Travel a few years ago, and actually had a great time with him. We had a speakers dinner where all of us who were like kind of the attractions, I guess, at the cruise, we all got together for a speakers dinner. And I remember after dinner, we were all sitting and talking about UFOs and interesting stuff. And I was talking with Nick quite a bit there. Really cherished that time, a great memory for me. So now almost a week ago, not quite, Nick put out a very sad message. I'll read the first part of it. And this is from Nick Pope. Nick said, "A while ago, following some digestive issues, I was diagnosed with esophageal cancer. Unfortunately, it's stage 4 and has metastasized to my liver. While I know that it's kindness and hope that leads people to suggest healers and supposed miracle cures and to say things like, 'Fight it and you can beat it,' I'm afraid my diagnosis and my situation leaves no doubt whatsoever. I can't beat it." He goes on to say and kind of recap his career and very thankful for everything that he did. He says the true highlight, of course, is my life with my wonderful, beautiful, and incredibly smart wife, Elizabeth. She's a real-life Agent Scully, and he goes on and on. And I really, the way he ended this was amazing. He said, "It's all been amazing, and I'm grateful for the things I've done, not mournful for the things I won't now get to do." So, I mean, it was an epitome of class, and, we wish Nick and his wife the best at this very difficult time. And again, that's from Nick Pope. I want to be clear. That's about him.
That's directly from him.
Yeah.
Was that
and I encourage you to go
where
over
did he put that?
X. I would encourage you to read the full statement. It's if you follow the UFO subject at all, it's worth reading. And actually, it's just worth reading as a human being because he showed such grace and class at a time when it must be most difficult to show that grace and class. So Godspeed to Nick.
Absolutely.
Sad to hear it.
We'll keep them in in my prayers, because it's a tough. That's a tough one. That's a really tough one.
What can you say? And I mean, it feels like we've been talking about this. There's been a lot of sickness and death around lately. Just I feel like every time I turn around, I'm hearing about somebody passing. Just about maybe 3 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was in an entirely different setting, and I heard that someone had passed and tragically collapsed at work. And it was like kind of like 1 in a million that I would have heard this in this context. And come to find out, and they mentioned the person's first name and where they worked. I'm like, well, I know a so-and-so that works at such and such place. And it was someone I had done a lot of TV projects with in undergrad school. And it really been 30 years since we really talked. I had lost contact. But he was a great guy. He was a very hard worker, very smart, very technically inclined. And the guy collapsed at work and died, similar age to me. I mean, probably with one way or the other, a year or two of each other. And it just really makes you think, you cannot assume you're going to be around. So you got to make the most of every day. I'm kind of changing my viewpoint a little bit. I think I used to be, and you know this, so driven by work and everything, and I'm still very dedicated, don't get me wrong. But I'm starting to realize, it's not all about work all the time, because the work will be there when you're gone. But you got to spend time with people. You got to spend time enjoying the things that you do outside of work, although I do enjoy my work. But I don't know. That one hit me hard. I think you would even say hard. The way that I reacted to it. And I've heard of other contemporaries dying and stuff. But something about this one really hit me hard.
The way, and we're not going to go into how you got this message, but the universe brought you this message. I'm telling you, God put you in a path to be able to hear this message, because you wouldn't have otherwise known. And
no. I might have found out eventually, but
maybe eventually,
this was but shocking.
Very shocking. And I know it hit you extremely hard. You had spent a good deal of time with him, and just super sad. And I've always said this, though, to you, is life is so short. Be grateful for every minute you're here. Even, you remember when you're way back when the kids were little, oh my gosh, she's got soccer. This one's got theater. We got to go over here. We got to do there. And I got to cook dinner. And oh God, the bills. And it goes away, and it can go away in any minute. You know what I'm saying? So
it's almost like that saying, God bless this mess, kind of thing.
It is. It's so true. You and if it's not that, there's other things. I mean, even without kids, there's always something going on. Oh my gosh, I got to do this, and this is due, and I got, that's kind of life, but it's not life. No. That's not really what is going on. And I have a story later that's going to really solidify that. And
then the last thing I'll say, and then we'll move on to a totally different subject. But I was talking with someone recently, and they weren't complaining. They were just saying how busy they were taking their kids to sports and things. And I think their kid was in their teens. And I said, there'll come the day when you'll actually miss that. And believe me, that day's coming a lot sooner than you think, because it's like, does it ever stop? Does it ever stop? Does it ever stop? And then it stops, and you're like, whoa, who stole my cheese kind of moment, kind of thing. And we'll talk about cheese later, but that's much later.
The days are long,
the
the years are short. Is that how that goes? Yeah.
Yep. Good sense. Good saying.
And I know some people are happy about that with their kids.
And that's okay for them. For me,
it is okay for them. For us, it was not a happy.
I mean, I'm not sitting around crying. I you know me, I'm always doing something. I mean, but it is a bit of a passing. It's a stage of life. And even though, Cassandra will probably come back this summer, Natalie visits when she can, it's never going to be the same.
No.
It's never going to be the same.
And I kind of imagined this last Christmas was our last as the traditional way we know it. I think things will, as they grow up and they get partners,
find their significant others, and so forth.
And they have other families. They got to go to that side. I mean, we won't always maybe be with them. So, so it makes you think. So enjoy every moment as best you can. Enjoy it.
Speaking of children, this next story involves a child and is quite. This is disturbing. This is
it's
disturbing.
very disturbing. So this was in Galway, Ireland, and so an exorcism. Let's just say, and they did an exorcism on this house, and because this family had to leave because there was a poltergeist in there, and it was causing great problems for them. So it's the Fahey family. Parents Jackie and Esther, daughter Martha, son Michael, his fiance Mary, and Martha's baby Sarah Louise lived in this house during the 90s. Okay. After Sarah Louise was born, this poltergeist tormented them. Strange smells, objects being destroyed or moved, noises, sudden drops in temperature. And they all seemed to come in the baby's room, in Sarah Louise's room. One night they heard her wailing cries from the room and they ran in, and the child was sitting up in her crib with her stuffed animals arranged in a perfect circle around her. They said that got too much. They left the house. Michael stayed with one of his friends, and I guess this got national attention, and they had a professional parapsychologist, Sandra Ramdani, come in. And they brought Sandra to the house and they showed her the room. And she had discovered that a baby had been smothered to death in that house 100 years before.
Oh, my Lord.
And it was, this poltergeist was jealous of the attention that Sarah Louise was getting. So that's why it was haunting the house and that particular room. So Sandra, they did an exorcism. She lit candles, incense, called on the family to send all their love to the ghost baby. And after that, it left the house and things returned to normal. Yeah. So scary stuff. You know, I think this kind of just tells us sometimes it's important to kind of dig in the past and see what has happened in certain places.
So is the thought that the actual spirit smothered the baby to death 100 years ago? Is that the implication?
They're saying that somebody smothered a baby in that house. So I
maybe
think
that caused
that caused the baby's spirit to stay there because they killed it. They killed that poor baby. Who would do it?
I'll tell you, we know about the atrocities and things that happen now, but there was some really bad stuff that went down back in the day. My true crime show, which, by the way, if you enjoy that sort of thing, is back. It's audio only, Jim Harold's Crime Scene, and it is back in audio form for a limited time. We'll see how it's received, but you can get that on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, audio only. But anyway, doing that show really gave me an appreciation of, heinous acts are not a modern development. We say, it was a kinder and gentler time. And then we've done shows on H.H. Holmes, who basically made a murder castle and would basically say, hey, come stay in the room. And then they would gas people to death. He would throw them down a chute, skin their bones, and then sell their bones for medical schools and things, their skeletons.
Yeah, beautiful. Great.
And that was in the 1800s. So this whole thing that, people are more evil than they were in the past.
No, I think you just hear about it more.
There have been bad dudes and bad dudettes from the beginning.
You got it.
There's no question about it. Well, now, let me make sure I've got the right story pulled up here.
This is what you kind of talked about a little last week about the drones and shutting down the El Paso, Texas airspace. This is kind of related to this.
Yeah, this is the Daily Mail. And they said widespread cell phone disruptions are set to hit thousands of Americans across Texas just as the state recovers from chaos in El Paso this week. Apparently, military personnel at Fort Hood, there will be chaos in the world. But anyhow, military personnel at Fort Hood are scheduled to test anti-drone systems that can interfere with satellite navigation, potentially degrading GPS accuracy for aircraft, drones, and consumer devices. This is going to go on from, it must have already started, February 2nd, with the final round scheduled February 23rd to 27th, including areas like Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, extending as far as Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Wow.
And they remark that all this testing happened shortly after El Paso airspace was closed down mysteriously Now, there was a claim that it was a party balloon from parts of the government. There was part that said it was drug cartel drones.
From Mexico, yeah.
I don't know. Could it be UFOs? Could it be Satan? No.
There you go.
Just a little bit self-assured. Just a little bit self-assured. I think I know what we all know what we're talking about here, don't we?
You guys need to go look up the church lady from SNL.
Oh, yeah. For you millennials, look up the church lady.
Yeah, young
Aren't
folks.
you special?
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. We just used to laugh so hard.
Oh, there's so much I could say. Some of the things that Dana Carvey used to say.
Oh, my gosh.
Take a look at the ball. Never mind.
Well, you could bring that up later.
Oh, Lord. Just a little bit special.
Yes. So it is curious. It's very curious. Hey, if you guys live in that area, drop us a comment or in the virtual campfire group.
Yeah.
Kind of let us know if you've had some disruptions and stuff. Hey, maybe that's why YouTube was down last night.
That's right. Out in the West Texas town of El Paso. Anyway.
We're going to get a copyright strike, but
yeah.
Okay.
Well, but
they might not recognize that old song because
that's true. That's true. Marty Robbins that's a deep cut, folks. But if you know, you know. Great singer. Anyway, UFOs, cell phones, airspace closing. It's all very, very curious to me, and it gets curiouser and curiouser. And another thing that gets curiouser, we recently had hospice nurse Julie on the Paranormal Podcast. If you haven't seen that interview, go watch it right now while it's still free on YouTube, because it's our most popular YouTube video ever on the channel. I think it's up to 89,000 views now.
Wow.
And she is great. Well, for some people, that's not a big video. For me, that's a big video. But the point is, she is fantastic, and she talks about these experiences that people have at time of death. Tell us what you found about this ICU nurse. Dar?
Yeah, so there's another ICU. She's an ICU nurse. I'm sorry, Nurse Julie's hospice nurse, but she's made a claim on her social media on TikTok that she's been a nurse for 4 years in the ICU, and she said every single person who passes away says the same thing. They say, "Can you please tell my family I love them? I don't feel good. I know I'm gonna die." And she claimed these people know when they're going to die because there's like a spiritual shift that nobody can explain. She said their vitals might be stable. Their condition may not have changed. Nothing inherently dangerous that's screaming, oh, this is what's going to kill them. But she said in every single circumstance, this is her quoting, no matter what brought them in initially, they always die, always. She said it doesn't matter what medicine is given, what precautions are taken, what procedures are done. She said, quote, the minute that inner shift happens where the spirit is crying out and telling the person, you have one more chance. This is your last opportunity. They always die. And then apparently in her TikTok, she starts crying. And this is the part that I really wanted to talk to everyone about. That's her quote, because it does go what we were just talking about. Quote, we've gotten all caught up with all of this foolishness. And I get it because it consumes me too sometimes, she said. Quote, life is not meant to be an endless pursuit of things. Life is meant to be enjoyed. Life is meant to be appreciated. Life is meant to be explored. Your spirit knows you are connected to something deeper than what we're told. So, amen. Amen. Christy Robb is her claim. So, she's so right, you know. She's so right. And we've had how many stories? We talk about this and people, you know, they can kind of see people, relatives when they pass, right. They say certain things. It's out there. I mean, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And so this has absolutely, you know, touched her, and she just felt compelled that she needs to tell people. And it's like, it's so true. Just enjoy your life. Be appreciative. Be grateful, you know, and everybody complains, you know, that's like, we love to complain, but think about the next person who has it worse. You know, think about these poor children at St. Jude's who are suffering with cancer. And, you know, you know, somebody out there always has it worse than you do. So be grateful for what you have. Just be grateful for things.
For example, I always kick myself because, well, the shows aren't more popular. I'm not Joe Rogan, but I got to think about, what, I'm pretty lucky to get what I do for a living. I'm in relatively good health. Nobody's going to accuse me of being an Adonis, but as far as I know, I'm in good health right now. That could change, as we know, that could change tomorrow. But right as this moment, and I've got you, of course, and the kids, as of this moment, I have everything in the world to be thankful for. That can change at a moment's notice. So that's even more reason to be thankful. And I'm trying to remind myself of that more lately.
Yep.
Well,
Stay
the next story.
In gratitude.
Yes, good idea. Good idea. So the next story, I guess the moral of the story is don't make the aliens angry. To quote or paraphrase Dr. David Banner, don't make them angry. You wouldn't like them when they're angry.
No, we're talking about Mark Christopher Lee, and he's getting death threats because of.
Well, I went out of order, but we can.
Oh, okay.
Why don't we just proceed with the story I was going to do because I went out of order and it's not that big of a deal. All right. So anyway, back to the angry aliens.
It's a weekly event, but go ahead. Tell us about the
as long as it gets
aliens.
in. It's not like the stories are pretty comparable. But anyhow, it turns out that there is a supposed encounter with a UFO that came from the previous USSR, the Soviet Union. And this goes, now what I don't understand, now this has got to be wrong. This is from mir.co.uk.
Oh, it's possible then. No.
Well, it's saying, according to a report from the time troops shot down an alien spacecraft flying in the skies above Siberia in 1993 using surface-to-air missiles. But, and we were talking about this yesterday, you asked me, well, when did the Soviet Union dissolve? And I said, I think 1991, and I double-checked and it was. So I don't know if they're referring to something that happened earlier when it actually was the USSR, or they're just incorrect. It's totally possible they're a little off on their timeline. But anyway, apparently what happened was 5 beings emerged from the wreckage, fused into a blazing orb that sent out a beam of light that turned 23 soldiers into stone, leaving just a few survivors.
Like the Bible story Job?
That's exactly, oh my God, mind meld. I was going to say the same thing.
No.
Yes,
Serious?
I was. I was going to say, isn't that pretty biblical? Yes. And that tells you guys, we are. So the story made it to the pages of a Ukrainian newspaper, and the report was even noted in a since declassified CIA file.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There we go.
So that's exactly
Turned
to stone. Well, this, know what it is? I'm reading here, the file is simply a reprint of the 93 Ukrainian article, so it sounds like it is referring to something that happened before that. So the article was from the 93.
So then it would have been USSR at that point.
Yeah, if it were 91 or before. So that's probably where the disconnect is.
Well, you know how everything was classified over there anyway. It still kind of is. So
yeah. So, but the thing is that I always find it interesting. A lot of the UFO happenings kind of map to the Bible. Is that they talk about in the Bible, they talk about a chariot of fire in the sky. I think that's in Isaiah. I'm not sure. In the Old Testament, maybe some of you biblical scholars out there can correct me. But the point is that there are a lot of things in the Bible that sound a lot like what people describe. Even the description of angels. Have you ever heard or read the description of angels in the book of Revelation? They're terrifying. They have like thousands of eyes and all this crazy stuff. It's like, oh, I don't think I want to see that kind of angel. They sound terrifying.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm just in awe of this story because so there were 2 survivors from that, and then they all the rest turned to stone, and then what did they do? They took their
transferred to a secret scientific research institution near Moscow. I used to say Moscow, but Peter Jennings taught me different. It's Moscow, where it was determined that the men had been turned into a substance identical to limestone.
That's just bizarre to me. I'm sorry. That's super bizarre.
Like a rock.
Okay, that's That is not nice. That's not nice.
That's not nice. That's not nice. You're not being very nice. Not being very nice.
I made it nice.
People are saying you're not being very mean. Being very mean.
I'm going to make a shirt for myself. It says I made it nice.
All right.
Dorinda medley. Okay. Moving right along. A 1977 hit ranked like the best dance song of all time was fueled by a long call with a psychic. This is from parade.com. Yeah. Everybody knew Donna Summer, queen of the disco, pioneer of EDM in the late 70s. And 2 years after recording her breakthrough disco hit, Love to Love You Baby, she dropped the electronic dance track, I Feel Love. Billboard ranked it the best dance song of all time, beating out Good Times and Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive and Madonna's Vogue. So it said it's timeless, right? And she said it was written by Summer and her long-term collaborators, Giorgio Moroder and Pete Bellotte. I Feel Love appeared on Summer's fifth studio album. And it featured like an extensive use of a Moog synthesizer. And, you know, it wasn't her like biggest US hit. That was Bad Girls, but it peaked at number 6 on Billboard and it reached number 1 in the UK. But what they're saying is, the songwriting session marked the first time Donna wanted to be involved in a lyric. So the music producer revealed that he stopped by Summer's house to work on the lyrics, and she was on the phone for another hour and a half on a call to her astrologer. She had been seeking psychic counseling about her relationship with her then beau, Peter Moldorfer, as well as a new man she was interested in, singer-songwriter Bruce Sudano. And the advisor gave her all she needed. She had fallen deeply for Bruce, and when she came downstairs, she announced that her astrologer had told her, quote, "This is the man." That was the night I Feel Love was written, when she changed her whole life. And it was the best thing that ever happened to her. She and Bruce were together for the rest of her life. They flew back to Munich to record the vocal. And that was the feeling she gave the song. And so they were married in 1980, and they had 2 daughters, and they remained married until she died, unfortunately, in 2012. Yeah. So she had a kind of an astrologer tell her.
I will give you another weird factoid about that song that I just learned, and it's kind of paranormal. Ooh. The producer and I guess co-producer and co-writer of that song was Giorgio Moroder, who
what I mentioned.
Yes, who also wrote the song Chase, which was the theme to the movie Midnight Express. I believe that was with Mickey Rourke, but paranormal fans will note as dun 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 dun. That is the theme to Coast AM.
Oh, there we go. Spooky. Full circle.
Yeah. And I got to say, I'm jealous of Coast AM. I'll tell you why. They have their commercials, right? And they get to do these cool bumper music, right?
I know.
Going into the show. And like they'll have Johnny
Cash, so
Ghost Riders in the Sky or Season of the Witch and stuff like that, Donovan, whatever. And of course, because podcasting is a second-class citizen, we can't get music licensing. And I would pay, a reasonable amount. I would pay for that licensing to use those little clips to do that little bumper music. We can't do it. So...
Do the big celebrities get to use it?
No, they don't, actually. They don't. No, it's pretty.
Like
I think it's pretty well
established.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. It's maybe now that the big celebrities are in, maybe they'll finally get that. I remember going to.
But they'll probably make it so cost prohibitive for the independent podcasters.
I went to a podcast conference in the 2010s, and the guy's like, "Oh, we'll have this figured out in a year."
And we're 16 years later.
Yeah. So anyway, that is that. Now, where were we? Where were we before I so rudely interrupted myself?
Well, you were going to talk about Mark Christopher Lee's bombshell revelation that Trump's going to reveal everything in July.
Well, actually, we talked about before, but you found some developments. He recently said in an email to Newsweek, a Washington insider I have known personally and conducted business with has repeatedly affirmed that President Trump has prepared a historic speech acknowledging extraterrestrial visitation and the existence of recovered non-human materials and craft. The planned date remains July 8th, 2026. And he goes on because of the Roswell.
He's doubling down.
Now he says, my source has now confirmed they will come forward publicly and hold a formal press conference on May 1st, 2026 in Washington, D.C. This could generate substantial pressure and potentially bring full disclosure forward ahead of the original timeline. And somewhere in the skies, Ryan Sprague, and this according to, I didn't see Ryan's direct quote, but I'm assuming Newsweek is correct. They quote, Somewhere's in the Skies podcast saying in response to Lee's post, none of this is going to happen. Now,
so Ryan is saying none of it's going to happen.
None of it's going to happen. I don't know. I'm not convinced it's not going to happen. I think if you would ask me a month ago, I would say it's definitely not going to happen. But I am getting a vibe, man. I'm getting a vibe. Maybe something is going to happen.
Damn, I don't think it'll be what we think it'll be. That's what usually happens.
Well, I got to say, I mean, the template for me are the JFK files. And I found, and again, this is nothing about him personally or politically. I have this problem with every U.S. president since Lyndon Johnson. So it's not Trump specific. But I felt that Trump's reaction to the JFK files and also to the drone sightings, you know, he said that we were going to get all this information about those drone sightings from a couple of years ago, and we really got nothing. So, you know, I go by your actions, right? So maybe it'll be different.
Maybe, are saying,
yeah, people are saying, don't do it.
No,
don't do it. They're
say
telling me not to. He actually said something like that.
If anybody thinks that the president is JFK. Really the most powerful person out there,
that's
don't kid yourself. I still believe there's some other faction out there that kind of controls everything. And don't kid yourself. Somebody is telling him what he is allowed and not allowed to say.
You need to get your tinfoil hat ready next week.
I know, but I'm not. I know it really. It just really. I'm just not a very trusting person. Maybe that's it. Been burned too many times. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm conspiratorial, but...
Speaking of being burned too many times...
Well, but I did want to add something that Mark Christopher Lee is now getting death threats.
Oh, that's right.
He came out with
Boy,
that.
I am not with it today. I'm on some other planet.
Jim, you suck today. No, I'm just joking.
You suck.
You suck. That's the whole reason why we put that little bit in the story is just because he's now getting death threats.
Yes, he is.
Because Lee came out and said this is going to happen.
Yeah,
and
he said,
people are ticked off.
Yeah, he said that he's getting threatened. He said he got a message sent from what he described as an untraceable privacy-focused domain read, I suggest you tell your source to come forward sooner than later. There's a move to stop this announcement. It is much safer to flood this information out now. He believes the warning suggests, quote, powerful interests, unquote, are attempting to derail the announcement. He said the intimidation only reinforces that we are touching on something profound. Attempts to silence its information will not succeed. The public deserves the truth.
That's scary. I mean,
yeah, I believe that, actually. I actually believe that. I think
so too. I do. That's kind of why I came out with my conspiracy thing.
Because people are saying, no.
Oh my God, this is a train wreck. This is a train wreck. Okay, go ahead.
I wish I had an explosion sound. Okay. Let's regain our sense of propriety here. Regroup.
Before we lose our sense of
where did I cut myself out there? No, I've been saying for years, I believe there are two factions. There is one faction like the Rubio types, like the Burleson types, Burchett, Luna, people like that, who want to at least disclose some things. Not all necessarily, but some things to the American public. And then, and Moskowitz, I want to mention a Democrat as well. And then there is an entrenched establishment, maybe it's the military-industrial complex, very powerful forces that don't want a damn thing to get out and don't want anything to change.
What they were talking about in Age of Disclosure, when he showed the mapping of which departments were really kind of in charge with what gets out there and whatnot. Right. So that was super interesting to me.
Well, this next story now, this is interesting. This is some earth-shaking news.
Let her rip. No.
Yes. So
this is our weird
and
news.
I will tell you, I refuse to participate in some of the language used in this article. But you feel free.
You are highly offended by this language.
Yes, I'm highly offended.
He's very offended by this language. He won't use these words.
Correct.
Just like panties. And then, of course, he also hates New Orleans if you call it Nolans. So,
I mean, if you really legitimately are from down there and that's the way you talk, cool. But I don't like people from up north.
You don't like when I say it? Like your
I had this one friend who, was no more from New Orleans than I am. And he's like, I actually just came back from Nolans. And it's like, dude, you're from Cleveland.
You live in Cleveland.
Now, if somebody speaks that way and it's part of the dialect and a part of the accent of the natural place, that's fine. But I don't like people.
Well, maybe he it's just like people felt very close to the city.
It's like people who, there's a YouTube video about this. People who over enunciate different words from different languages. Like if they say an Anglo saying a Spanish word and they over enunciate it.
I got it. Ricotta.
Yeah.
We must buy some ricotta
But
cheese.
No, but you're saying that's kind of like if I say, well, I really like spaghetti, particularly when I get ricotta. Or ricotta.
I do ricotta because I'm Italian.
Yeah, but you're Italian. But the point is if I try to do it, it's stupid. It doesn't work.
Hey, paisa.
But I don't know. It seems like you're kind of putting on. That's the thing. And the panties thing, it just sounds ridiculous. It sounds so
Nolans.
Non-grown up. I get my
panties.
Yeah.
Well, women don't wear underwear. They wear panties. It's supposed to be all feminine.
Briefs.
Boxers. Okay, anyway.
Okay.
Here's our weird news from the New York Post.
Yes. This is something I do not approve of and I do not participate in any way.
It is earth-shattering to know we fart twice as much as previously thought. And scientists discover this from new smart underwear. See, not panties. I could think.
Well, those are. Let me ask you. That right there was what's wrong with this. If the underwear were smart, why would they agree to this duty, so to speak?
Duty.
I didn't even mean that. That was really good.
Look at you blushing. This is so good. So I wasn't aware, but breaking wind can help protect against Alzheimer's and postpartum depression. But there's too much of a good thing. Why is this important is what I want to know. But anyway, the previous research has pinpointed an average of 14 toots a day. But the University of Maryland researchers developed this smart underwear that has measured human flatulence more accurately, and it's up to an average of 32 farts a day. The farting, my good man, the farting. Jim loves that word. Hates the word fart. Did you fart? Okay. So I guess they're doing it to understand excessive gastrointestinal issues and gut microbes better. So they made this smart underwear, and it's a tiny wearable device that snaps into your underwear. Oh my God, help us. Electrochemical sensors track intestinal gas production and hydrogen in flatus around the clock, except when the person is on the toilet. Some fart as few as 4 times a day and others up to 59 times. What are you eating? Dr. Michael Levitt, a gastroenterologist known as the King of Farts, said it's virtually impossible for the physician to objectively document the existence of excessive gas using currently available tests. So they're very happy with this new technology. And I guess what they're saying, they can determine what normal gas levels are and then spell out optimal levels for cholesterol and blood pressure. I am not a doctor, So I don't understand how that's all related, but it could be probably on a cellular level is my guess. Yeah. So it's not available to the public yet. So I'm sorry, guys. Yeah.
Well, I know how much you love AI. So I asked it for 20 euphemisms. Would you like to hear a few? Of course, pass gas, broke wind, let one slip. This one I've never heard of. Dropped a trouser cough. Released pressure, barked the spider, air biscuit deployment, backdoor breeze.
Air biscuit deployment.
Air biscuit. Now, I don't know if it just made these up or if these are real. Backdoor breeze, rear salute, bottom burp. This one I like. Cheek squeak.
Oh.
Opened the valve. Played the butt trumpet.
Oh.
Silent but violent. Fired a warning shot.
Silent
this
but
one's
deadly,
good.
I heard.
Issued a personal weather advisory.
By the time you say all of that, geez.
Powered up the methane engine. Conducted a seat test. Activated the stink switch or cleared the chamber.
Oh, my God. Okay. That's good, hon. We're good. I mean, this is people should not be embarrassed.
I didn't have to say that word once.
It's a normal biological process.
Human.
We all do it. That is, we're human.
Well,
so that's why I always laugh when people are, no, I mean, if you're letting them rip really loud during an important time or something, then, I think you'd be best to go in another room.
Now, let me bring this presentation home.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, I mean, just right there. Yeah, exactly. I didn't have any.
So that's our weird news. They have smart underwear to measure your farts. There you go.
Hey, there you go. Well,
fart in your panties in Nolans.
Well,
we had Nolans, a little taste of Nolans. We had jambalaya for dinner,
which I love.
I don't think we needed any smart underwear. It was
I
good.
can't have it today. It's.
Oh, you're having it today because you're eating meat. You're not Catholic.
Well,
we follow some traditions and others we don't. I'm not. See, we're not. That's a whole.
Yeah. See, I was
show.
never a thing.
I'm not totally Catholic.
I'm a Protestant and a Protestant, and we never had that growing up. But I respect it, and if you don't want us to have meat on Friday, I'm cool with that. But sometimes I forget.
It's just something. It's just kind of something to kind of think about and give up. I don't do it necessarily for why the church says it. You should do it or whatever. It's just
and a big thing here, a really big thing in our area, and it probably is in some other places, is fish fry.
Oh, fish fries are huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Different churches, different restaurants will have buffets. My dad loved going to that. We used to take him during Lent a couple times on Fridays, and we'd go to a fish fry. There was like an Italian party center nearby. So they had they'd start with pasta fagioli, and then they had all different kinds of fish and macaroni and cheese and regular pasta. Yeah. So fish fries are huge around here. So yeah. Maybe we'll hit one. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'd like to do that. I mean, I know you don't like to go out, particularly when the weather's cold. You don't want to get COVID or something. But I think it'd be fun to go to a fish fry again. I enjoy it. My
body is it can fight things off, but it doesn't fight them off from getting them. So my body's like, hey, virus, bacteria, come on in. Yeah. And then it can fight it, but it doesn't protect me from getting it in the first place. My immune system stinks. But anyway.
It stinks. Well,
it stinks. Just like the farts. Okay.
Enough of that. Enough of the gas. That story was a gas, though. It was a real gas. It was a gas. So, again, thank you for joining us. A couple things. We always like to promote a couple little things. First of all, our Plus Club, jimharold.com/plus, jimharold.com/plus. I will tell you, on the shows, we have gone, particularly Campfire, which was our main kind of driver in terms of advertising. We've gone to these automated ads, which we think work better. They're shorter. There's less ad time and those kind of things. But the downside of that is less ad dollars. And we're confident we can make that up through our Plus Club, jimharold.com/plus, jimharold.com/plus. You'll get so much. And plus, we are doing an Ask Me Anything on March 4th with Dar and I for Plus Club members only. So please, please, please join the Plus Club to support the shows and, get you a whole lot more content. jimharold.com/plus, jimharold.com/plus, and we've got some great money-saving offers. You can get, I think, $30 off your first year with the supporting cast version, and then you can get $5 off your first month if you decide to go the monthly margin. And building that and growing that is the only way we're going to be able to continue doing what we're doing. So we need your help. jimharold.com/plus. And also, of course, our merch store. And actually, I don't think I have that pulled up, so we'll just forget that. We'll forget the visual. But it's jimharold.com/merch. jimharold.com/merch. And there are many sundries and beautiful things there that Dar has cooked up.
I was so happy somebody just ordered some books, and Jim will gladly autograph them.
Yeah, but
whatever you'd like to say.
We don't talk about that much, but I'd be glad to
No, we don't.
autograph
You could get the coloring book, which is really, really cool.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, there's some things that haven't been getting too much love, so it was nice to see somebody purchase some books and stuff.
Yeah,
so
which I've got to sign them, and
yes,
guys,
you do. This
is not a high volume operation. I literally sign the books, and most of the time I run them to the post office. So you're truly getting personal attention here. Truly,
I do all the packaging and
the thing is, I don't think people get, because people sometimes will think, oh, your team, your operation. Of course. Maddie has helped us for many years.
Yes.
Of course, you're part-time. I am the only full-time employee. That's it. There is no other team. Now, I take that back. There's a couple people to help. Natalie, our daughter, does some audio editing for us. For some of the remastered, she's doing that a couple hours a week. We do have a gentleman who's been helping us out with some video editing, and he does a great job. So, but in terms of full-time employee, you're looking at him. That's it.
There you go.
So,
there's no mass production of anything.
No.
No. So after this, guys, I will go find an appropriate packing box to get everything in and pack it all pretty. Jim will sign them all. I'll pack it all pretty. I'll get the labels going, whatever.
And I'll get in the car and run
because
up to the post office.
Because he wants to run to the car. I said I would take it, but you.
Yeah, but I like to get the stuff out fast. I want people to get, and we can.
Well, you also just like to get out of the house for 2 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of stuck in the house.
Instead of being behind the mic constantly.
Yeah. I'm kind of stuck in the house 24 hours a day. But I'm taking steps to change that.
Yeah, you took a couple walks yesterday, so that was some good steps.
Yeah. Oh man. I wish.
Oh, the weather's been nice.
Yeah, in the 50s.
But it's going to crash this weekend.
Yeah.
And be careful out there. Keep tabs of the weather. I heard there might be a nasty nor'easter with a lot of snow starting for Boston, New York area this weekend. They don't know how it's going to go, so just keep tabs of it. I hope we don't get any.
Well,
ours is finally starting to melt.
We've done it.
One last thing.
Yes.
This next Thursday, the 26th.
Yes.
Your last Cuyahoga County Library appearance.
Oh, yeah.
At Olmsted Falls Library at 7 p.m.
Yep.
It's full, but register anyway if you're interested in going, because there is a wait list and people sometimes do drop out.
Yes.
And then you can take that slot. So
yes.
And it'll be under jimharold.com/events, jimharold.com/events at the top of his page. So,
and I will say, even when we're fully registered, not everybody shows up. Take that information as you wish.
That's true.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. And we'll talk to you next time on The Paranormal Report, everybody. And you know
stay
what?
Safe
stay safe
and
stay spooky.